Hello everyone. I'm Pamela Coons at the Wellness Radio TV here in Atlanta, Georgia for the Atlanta Black Theater Festival. Such a powerful performance that I just witnessed from this incredible playwright, Lakeitha Blakeney, from South Carolina. North Carolina. In a play called Sweet Gin, addressing something that is so current in the news today. We are hearing all the stories about women who have been taken advantage of, but the storyline is always about black women. You have written a story after doing research about women during slavery, and you have written a compelling, what was a one-woman show, but you now have a small group of people, one dancer and a young lady. Why did you decide to write this? Why did you decide to tell the story of black women who have been raped since they came to this country?
Well, the enslavement of black people and the antebellum South has always been my favorite time in history to study. And people wondering why I would like to study that time, and it is because of the perseverance and the determination and the love that just continued to flow and to drive them and move them forward that flows through me is the reason why I am so fascinated by it. Like when you are in a situation where the man you love, the man you love could be taken from you at any moment. Like the relationships, the connections are precarious, but you choose to love anyway. I think that is such a powerful thing. And I actually had visited the Abraham Lincoln Museum, which I thought was pretty cool. And I said, I'd kind of like to work here. And they said, we commission one man and one woman shows, and they have to be in Lincoln's era. So I said, naturally, I decided to read female slave narratives because I'm female. The women in my family have such a huge influence on my life. Not that the men don't, but the women do. All the different things have been passed down to me. I decided to study female slave narratives.
And you tell the story of a woman who is, even when the enslaved woman was put together with a man, it was essentially forced sex.
It was for them both.
Right.
You know, and sometimes young men get left out because they get violated as well. They get left out of the narrative. So it was a violation for Jen as well as Tim. And he even said in the kindest way he could is that they had to. Because I read that there were instances when babies were not being produced often enough or quickly enough that they were made to perform in front of slave masters and their friends, their cohorts. So that's in addition to this. This is already a violation, just to add this extra humiliation for the both of them to it, which is why, in a sense, in his desire to protect them both, tells her, look, we have to do this. So essentially to be raped for however many years, however many children that you have with this man that you didn't choose for yourself, you know, it's just powerful, and it needed to be told.
And even today, it is as if we were, it's almost as if we're still considered animals because nobody's talking about it. Nobody is saying that the African woman enslaved in the United States of America was repeatedly raped.
Right, and even now, black women are less likely to be believed. And what I think we have to do now is to believe each other. Hear each other when we are speaking. Believe our brothers when they say we feel a certain, I've been violated. Believe us, listen, hear my story, and see our humanity. That's the thing, is that for whatever reason, the color of my skin, for a lot of people in this world, removes my humanity from me, as if I could not be delicate, as if I could not be in need of care. You know, I said earlier that I read a quote where black women are the only flower to grow with no water.
Black women are the only flower to grow with no water. My God, we have been through so much and continue to persevere.
We do, and I ended the show on a hopeful note with that love returning to her, because I wanted to show that love does conquer all, and it does persevere. It does persevere through some of the worst trauma that a person can go through, that you can love a person through it.
Do you think we will ever get to a place, when are we going to get to the place where there will be stories as we're seeing these stories now about white women who have been raped that get the same kind of attention that when will black women get the same kind of attention that white women are getting? Because we're all human. We're all humans, and a violation is a violation.
Right. One thing I have learned is, like, if we're talking in terms of Hollywood, they don't necessarily see in terms of color. They see in terms of green.
Well, in the news.
And even in the news, like, if we have
even
to,
with law enforcement,
all of it, we have to continue to what we are doing, continue to use the format that our ancestors taught us, grassroots. We have to continue to make noise. We have to continue to march, continue to stop, never stop, because we didn't get to this place overnight. It took years of a breakdown, years of punishment to get us to this place, and it may take that time to get us out of it. But I believe as long as we are talking, there's always hope.
Playwright from the Carolinas.
Concord, North Carolina.
A compelling, I mean, it brought me to tears sitting there hearing the story, not only being raped, but every time she had a baby, it was sold from her, like going to the kennel, picking a puppy out of the kennel every time. And how many babies this character that you talked about, how many babies?
In the story, she says 6 children, but the woman that she's actually based on gave birth to 18 children.
And they were all taken away.
They were all taken away at some point, and then she was able to reconnect with a few of them. A few of them stayed until, like, there were 3 or 4 or 5. A few stayed till even where they would have a memory of her to, like, 10 years old, and then sold away, you know, when you're old enough to work.
Yeah.
Then sold away, but they were able to find each other. They were able, a few of them.
So I can't say enough how powerful your writing,
Thank you very
your
much.
acting.
Thank you.
It was just incredible.
Thank you so much.
And I look forward to seeing and hear more from you and telling this story over and over until others start to recognize that we are human.
We are. We absolutely are.
And we have feelings.
Yes, we absolutely do.
And for us to realize that we have feelings.
We absolutely, and we are deserving of care and love and attention, and we can be delicate if need be.
We are. But strong.
Yes.
Black women are the only flower that can grow
without water.
Without water. Thank you again
Thank you so
much for what you're doing.
Thank you.
In telling our story.
Thank you.
I am here in Atlanta, Georgia at the Atlanta Black Theater Festival. Where could people see or hear what you're doing?
Well, you can follow me on Facebook, Lakeitha Blakeney. You can also follow me on Instagram, She Can Act 1 as well. And when I have new shows coming up, I always make a post. So feel free to look me up on social media.
Excellent. Thank you again.
Thank you so much.
I'm Pamela Coons at the Wellness Radio TV in Atlanta, Georgia. Remember, there is healing at the well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it so much.
Thank you.